Hello everybody and welcome back to Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 March of the Minis. So in the last part we cleared all the levels on the ground floor and also the first boss fight too. And now we're gonna go through the next floor called Tropical Turmoil. Yeah, what you'll see is that it's gonna be essentially gonna be our first area, but it's gonna be, well, there's gonna be a lot of colored, there's gonna be a plentiful of colored switches. Yeah, just like in the first, just like in the prequel game, where if you just happen to activate one switch, then the other colored switch will automatically be deactivated again. So, and you're gonna constantly have to make sure you activate these switches multiple times, just so you can actually get to where you actually want to go. Oh yeah, and there are also now these blue springs. Now, whereas for the yellow springs, whereas in the yellow springs only took you like upwards, whereas the blue springs not only get you upwards, but they also send you on a much more farther distance. Yeah, so essentially, say here for example, now we can actually use that blue spring. Now, if we want to actually get up to that platform where one of the mini Marios is currently standing on. Yeah, but anyways, now here's something that I've also I probably should mention now for this whole entire playthrough is that, well, don't expect me to bring every single mini Mario in, because, well, I should say is, yeah, this game is pretty tough on me as it is. And honestly, if it comes like I said in the last video, I will make an attempt to try to get the gold stars for every level, including bring every single from Mini Mario through the doors. But like I said, I'm not exactly an expert at the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. So if it comes down to a point where I'm probably not gonna get every mini Mario through to the door, then I'm probably just not gonna bother. I'm going to bother bringing in every single mini Mario through the door within that level. So yeah, I may as well just let you know this now. But anyways, now starting with this level is that we not only got the introduction of a new enemy, well technically for this, more so for this game anyway, the blooper. Now the bloopers, they don't exactly attack you. They more so just whenever they notice your presence, they actually will just jump up, and that's when they'll stay in the air for like I want to say around 5 to at least 5 seconds before they start to drop before they start to drop from back down again. Yeah, so essentially, yeah, you at least have to make sure that the bloopers are nowhere near the mini Marios as they drop themselves back down again. And also another thing for this world is that we also have these rafts, which are your only means of getting yourselves across the water. Because, well, the mini Marios cannot swim for the life of them. Yeah, if the mini Marios just happen to drop into the water, they drown. So you definitely have to utilize those rafts if you want to get the mini Marios over to the other side. Yeah, but you also have to time it just right because, yeah, especially when you're dropping them from on a much more higher platform onto the raft, because otherwise, then they're gonna end up drowning again. Yeah, but anyways, now starting with this level, where we get ourselves introduced to the warp pipes. Now with these warp pipes, at first these warp pipes look pretty basic enough, but however, as you'll see within the future, as in the within the future levels that we're gonna see. Yeah. These warp pipes are gonna go to places where you probably would not even think they would go. So yeah, some warp pipes may take you all over. So yeah, and especially if a level is really huge, yeah, you really do have to keep in mind of where the warp pipes are gonna be taking them. Yeah. But anyways, oh yeah, and speaking of which, and speaking of looking around the levels, as soon as you get yourselves entered into a level, the timer itself does not start until you actually start to interact with something. Yeah, meaning that you can actually use this time to essentially look around, so then you can actually figure out your best plan of attack. So then you can actually get to so then you can have the mini Marios get to where you actually want. So then you could get the mini Marios get to where you actually want them to go. Yeah. But anyways, now starting with this level, we get introduced to another new enemy, the Cuttacuttas, and this is where I'd say where things are gonna get a little bit of annoying, because yeah, the Cuttacuttas, yeah, they like to constantly move around they constantly like to move really fast from a whole left to right. And if you're not careful, then the Cuttacuttas can easily just come right up to you mini Marios and just kill them. Yeah, so that's why when you see a Cuttacutta, yeah, you may have to either utilize the sliding bridges, so then you can have the Cuttacuttas fall onto a platform where you probably would onto a platform where you think that they are not going to be going to, or as you saw within this level, utilize the elevator, so then you can actually have them go to a platform where you probably are not going to be going to. So yeah, essentially, yeah, these Cuttacuttas can be a total. Yeah, these Cuttacuttas can be a major bitch to deal with at times. Oh, here we go. Now here's where we get into our next Donkey Kong toy. These guys are called capture cons. Now, whenever you have a mini Mario get themselves near a capture con, then that's when they will immediately grab onto the mini Marios and put them in its bag. yeah, and they will put them, and then they will put them into their sacks. And if you want to free them, you either have to hit them, yeah, and if you want to free them, you have to stun them. Now with by either the hammer or by another power up, which I think we will see, which I think we actually see within this world. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one we will start to see that within this world, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, now this right here is what I was talking about when it comes to the overall big level design, and also the and also and also and also the 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 pipes. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, this is where it gets a little bit of annoying. So when it comes to these pipes. But anyways, now starting with this level is where we get the introduction to the rumble blocks. Now, if a mini Mario just so happens to step on one, then that's when the that's when the block itself will start to break. And if it breaks, it will never be respawned again. Oh god. Okay, yeah. Again, when it comes to these rafts, I really need to make sure that the mini Marios are safe. Oh god. Yeah, I need to make sure when it comes to these Marios, I need to make sure that they're safe at the same point, and why not? Yeah. But anyways, now I guess since we're just gonna be going around for a bit. Oh god. That was close. Okay, there we go. Okay, but anyways, everyone, now I guess we're just gonna go through the rest of this, for the rest of this levels anyway. Now I guess one thing that I could definitely bring up right now is some of the music tracks that we have been hearing. Crap. Well, that sucked. Yeah, I may as well just move on. Yeah, since I feel like I'm spending quite a long time just by going for this level as it is, so I may as well just finish it off. Yeah, but anyways, everyone, as I was saying, about some of the music that we have been listening to so far. Now, for the ground floor, the majority of the music that we heard on that floor was actually a rearrangement of the mini Mario music from mini Mario music from the prequel, where you essentially had to guide six mini Marios to a box, while at the same time making sure that you collect these little these letters that spell out toy. They actually brain. They actually brain. I'm sure that they actually brain that music back. And then as for this world, they actually bring back the Donkey Kong Jungle music, also from the prequel game as well. And speaking of which as well, for the regular boss music, boss music that we heard, as when we fought against Donkey Kong the first time in this game. they also bring back the music, the first boss music that was also she utilized with it in the prequel as well. So yeah, this game definitely likes to utilize several music tracks from the prequel game. Yeah, that certainly is something, huh? Okay, here we go. Now this is where we really get introduced to other power up that you can knock out the captured cons with. And that actually being inside of that, a question block. Now the question blocks they will always contain a fire flower. Of course, you can now for whenever one of the mini Marios have that power up, then they will continuously will keep on continuously will just keep on they will just continuously just keep on hitting the enemies with the fire flower until the power up fades. But thankfully, as you just saw, the fire flower from that question mark block does not just disappear entirely. And ouch. Yeah, that mini Mario definitely had a big fall there. Yeah, he literally just broke himself into many tiny pieces. Yeah, but anyways, as I was saying, now the power up from that question mark block, it does not disappear. It does not disappear. They actually do, I'm sure, respawn once the power up is done. So yeah, you can actually have that power up for as long as you actually feel like it. But anyways, yes, that's 3 levels in a row where I didn't exactly get every single mini Mario in. But anyways, now for the next, now starting with this Shy Guy Smash is when we are gonna start seeing from bombs. Yeah, and if you touch one, then you're gonna get like stunned for a while. Yeah, causing you to waste a good valuable of your time. So make sure that you don't touch it. But even despite that, as long as you don't get yourself touched by the bombs, then you should be fine. But anyways, now we basically have gone through every level and the minigame for tropical turmoil. And now it's time for our next Donkey Kong boss. Whereas this time, where the cannon is that we're actually gonna be turning the cannon from like essentially like a little wheel, like this time. Whereas in this fight, we actually need to have the mini Marios actually drop the coconuts onto a Donkey Kong. And if the coconuts just so happen to miss, then the coconuts also have the potential of also hitting you too. So yeah, make sure you do not get the coconuts to actually land on you. Oh yeah, and also make sure you don't get yourself hit by the bananas that Donkey Kong throws at you too. Oh yeah, and also for that fight, now you can actually have the mini Marios hit on Donkey Kong without even needing to actually without even needing to hit the coconuts at all. Yeah, if you're actually good at, if you really are good at your bank shots, then you can actually hit a Donkey Kong without even needing the coconuts. But as everyone, now we've reached the next floor, which we'll get into starting with the next one. And so to then, I'll see you guys next time.